Now, if you have, let's say, a zombie population of humans or an incumbent population of zombie humans, and you want to keep them addicted to drugs, you just keep a nice flow of drugs running out the drains around some of the places when they're walking up the hill to the homeless place. And if they just get out of incarceration, they've probably had those drugs put in them by the medical system in the jail, the county people, or the other inmates, or what are called trustees, which are kind of like deacons in churches, except for they're prisoners that work in the incarceration system, the penal system, and they can kind of do whatever they want behind the scenes in there. Walk around, they don't stay in cages, they can eat good food while everybody else is fuck you too. So anyways, when you walk this way, you have to look at it and think it like this. Now, what about the people in the cages? There's only 2 places on this block that has regular running water out of these things. This place and the place I live up the block. My mind runs wild wondering what it's from. And then the worst part I think about is institutional furniture. I don't really like the fact that where I live has institutional furniture. In fact, the stuff I used to hear my roommates say when I used to return to what most people would call home, and I'd go into the apartment, ignore the roommates, lock my door, and put a towel under the door. Let me put it this way. I almost got in a lot of trouble with the law less than a block from where I live because they were making drugs in the bathtub, dipped cigarettes or whatever the fuck they make, and then sell to everyone around here, including in front of preventive measures on the MLK. People sell drugs on the wall, sitting in front of the building where people are getting drug treatment and psychiatric treatment, and they were making them in my fucking place. But now there seems to be steam and water coming out of the drain where I live. But the laundry's on the other side of the building. That's someone's apartment or a little manufacturing plant. And when I see the needles and the liquor bottles and the weird smells and the psychopaths who walk up and down this block and stare at people on the corners, you gotta wonder what's going on. Now there's police that live at the bottom of the hill, but the evil people live halfway up the hill and all the way at the top. I live about halfway up the hill, and then you have to take a right turn to go to the top. Look at your view lines, just like in prisons and jails. People do light signals here, and if you have a view, you can do light signals to anyone in the neighborhood and pass messages through the whole city with lights and reflective mirrors and flashes like Morse code. So what the fuck's going on where I live? Why does a dude who lives there and has been there longer than me drive a Mercedes and park it in the back in the private parking lot there like he's staff, but he comes and goes with different women in his Mercedes and dresses like he's he thinks he's I don't know. Probably he should get an entourage camera and call the paparazzi. You know, what I don't like too is the man who broke my hand still lives here, I think. Now see, when I was assaulted and beaten here to death, they broke my hand and both my wrists, my skull, my jaw, ripped my lip open, and also broke 2 of my teeth and smashed another one in half. So like, I'm missing stuff now. And some of them people from that gang live here. And so when this guy David still lives here, and I've called the police, and I saw him at a federal courthouse, and he was bailed out from the federal courthouse by Detective Tanner from Shiloh Baptist Church here, which is the church I attend. Detective Tanner protected this criminal who broke my wrist. And when the other cops showed up when I called on him, that's when they took the security officer woman upstairs with them, and the other security followed him up videotaping. Then those police, I'm pretty sure David impregnated that woman. Then they took that woman to jail, either in Tennessee or Texas, until the baby's born. And David thinks he's some kind of special guy when he's really just a Papa Smurf motherfucker from the prison system. He's a small man, does lots of exercises, you know, kind of like a little tough guy, but really I'd like to fucking really talk to him and tell him he's a piece of shit and put his image online. So I see these institutional chairs and I think of the stuff that some of these roommates I had used to say, I love you. And I'd lock myself in. Then the other one, after the other guy moved out, started saying weird shit while I was cooking in the kitchen. He'd sit there going, you're a dick sucker. You're special, Nathaniel. To the point at one night I was sleeping, he started screaming some weird faggot prison shit because I guess he thought it was roll call to get his dick sucked or get a butt fuck. I was like, nah, shut the hell up. He goes, make me. Ah. You know what I did? I called the police. But the staff where I live wouldn't let the police in to save my life, even though he threatened to murder me and I locked myself in my room, and I was told by their director when I called her to call the police. Instead, they just moved him to another room. They kept going, come down, talk to the police, Nate. You called them. I'm like, talk to the police for what? Let them come up here. I want to talk to them. But see, we got this institutional prison furniture up in here. And then yesterday when I was hanging over by the Marine Corps talking to them with my, what is it called? Clairvoyance and clairvoyance, ESP or magic. See, I talk to all the people around here like that for years now. Anyways, the thing is, right? These chairs, look at them. These men saying, you're a dick sucker. Then this woman rolls up to me trying to talk to me. I'm talking to her. Then she's annoying me. I tell her to piss off. Then she says, fuck you. You can keep being the dick sucker at Valley Place. I'm like, what does that mean, you fucking white cracker honky bitch? Get away from me and go back to your cunt tree. Tell your cunt tree I don't want you around me, bitch. Then she tried to yell all this weird shit. So when I see her, maybe she's a man. I'm asking her if she has a penis. Because she's a cunt tree bitch. However, she's probably just a cunt. Now, these chairs, though, and what these men were doing, so the other old man moves out, which, by the way, I saw him walking in the neighborhood about 2 months ago with his children. I was like, oh my God, how does he have fucking kids? You know, like, anyways, hey, that's my roommate. I'm like, oh my God. Because as soon as he moved out, the guy starts going, you can come in here, Nathaniel. You're special. I'll murder your children. He was saying all kind of weird ass shit, threatening fights, but then being giggly and gay like a homo. So you can't sweet up on a man like a faggot in a prison and then try and be sweetheart friend and be like, hey buddy, you want to go golfing? Oh, let's be swell pals. Hey bud, hey cool. Nah, shorty. Nah, when you act faggot, prison faggot on a man who's trying to get his life together, and you just, the other man who used to do your prison faggot bidding moves out, you don't just pick the next guy who lives there and say, hey, let's do prison faggot shit. Don't work like that, shorty. So after I told him the first time, if you want to go, we'll go outside right now. I'll beat the fuck out of you. And then I said, after this, I will never fight you again. And so I had the police and the staff remove him from my room. And this is the first time I've touched this prison jail furniture since he moved out about 3 months ago. And it's scary to touch it even, because I'm about the most psychic wildfire motherfucker on the earth, or one of them. Especially when I have the people with the most popular podcast, spiritual podcast in the world in 2020, who led Shelter and Youth of Today worldwide, is asking me for the next instructions, because positive force is not the answer. Love force is the answer. So Raghunath and your pals, you guys know that. Hardcore knows that. Don't defend the bitch ass scene, and don't defend a bunch of white people pretending there's a holy sit on the river. Whatever. Look, there's holy stuff going on all over the world. You can't claim that shit because you bought it. Your book says this. You're running a straight edge band. You immediately say you do hard drugs, psychedelics in your book. Then you say you're scared of the singer and musician Harley Flanagan because he has some drug background. You slight him and you talk positive force. Positive force permits deception. Love force does not permit deception. Positive force permits agenda. Positive force permits blinding and shine. Love force does not permit blinding and shine. It does not permit agenda, and it does not permit deception. So love force is the answer. But these institutional chairs and these dick suck jobs and these people motioning to fucking shit in the alleyways and all this weird ass shit going on around me can all take a fucking commercial break.
At the very root of the international music scene created by the United States of America and the MTV family, or the MTV culture, part of that design was to be able to traffic children around the world. They're called groupies.
A lot of people think it's just women, but it's young men too. They can be seen as part of the road crew or just hanging out with the band. And what better way to do it than to make your musicians freaks on the scene? You know, pink hair, purple hair, mohawks, spikes, big gold chains, crazy attitudes, sunglasses and weird styles and weird brands and weird hats, and a lot of shit that would offend most people or scare most people. And so when I look at the heart and the beginning of punk, people know that the Sex Pistols were a show band. They weren't really doing their own thing. They were a show band, and they did it to get paid and to get out of poverty in England. But you have to keep going and look at The Exploited with Waddy. The Exploited, Punk's Not Dead. The Exploited. Are they talking about children being trafficked around the world? Why am I now blocked by certain punk rock bands when I try and tag them? It's kind of like I'm blocked by certain government agencies when I try to tag them. It's because they don't want their people to get into the algorithms and logarithms of being tagged in my posts. Yet I return to Washington, D.C. to eliminate evil from planet Earth. That means murderers have to go. That means sex criminals have to go. And that means slavers have to go. And part of the work of the slavers is to pimp people out and to drug people without their knowledge. They use restaurants to do it. They use people to do it. They use institutions to do it. And they use trap areas to do it. Like homeless shelters or places that feed the homeless or prisons or psych wards or jails. Did you know that jails are for the long term and prison is for the short term? So now what I'm going to do, the exploited what? Are you talking about exploited children? So now you are the monikers for punk rock, metal, hardcore, because hardcore goes across all genres. You've got country, rap, go-go, metal, punk rock, hardcore. And I do this for the band Terror, who are the keepers of the faith. Keepers of the faith, I will defend your name, the name of God, the name of justice, our King Jesus in heaven. Keepers of the faith. Is punk rock being evil? No, it's not. Have they made it popular to be evil, the powers that be? Yes, they have. Now the question is, who's going to stand up and stop it? If you were involved in all those cruise ships that have all the concerts on them, didn't you hear they threw a few of those sex workers overboard and made videos? And anyone who gets out of line, they'll show them the videos of them throwing their sex workers over the side of the boat. That's what they used to do in the Middle Passage. That's that line directly from Africa over to the Caribbean and to the top of South America. Did you know that most slaves went to Central and South America, not the United States? Did you know that during that whole slave time, that it was popularized, publicized, and legalized here in the United States for the world to see? However, most slaves went to the Caribbean, Central America, and South America.
Now, Waddy, I'm going to tag the exploited. And you either stand with me or you stand with them bitch-ass punks and metalheads and hip-hops who've been trafficking children so they can make their careers and their money. And they did the evil thing by going and spreading their sperm and having children everywhere who they don't take care of.
Sounds a lot like the U.S. military, the United States military. And I don't mean the new progressive military people who want to fix the world and heal the planet and use the military for good. I mean the evil, shadowed, secret society within the military that's evil. I'm here to end your world. And I'm going to use all the people who want to help. So choose your sides: metal, punk, hardcore, hip-hop, country music, country and western, blues and jazz, and everything in between, techno. Do you want to traffic children? Do you want to keep giving them all fake IDs and moving them around the planet to create slave populations for the world? Did you sell the fuck out?